what makes you feel inspired? And this is something interesting because this morning I do 1 to 3 videos per day, and I post them on different social medias. And today was the why. And for me, the why is why I wake up every morning, right? I wake up every morning, I go to work, and I really think that what Streann is doing is changing the world with our technology. What's your why?
So I think we were all put on this earth to be a servant to our society. So like my mission in life, outside of like, building, generational wealth for my family, and not like from a financial standpoint, obviously, that's always nice, but just, building the family that I've always dreamed of. But from a business perspective, I personally want to make a positive influence with every person and business that I encounter. Whether it's just a single conversation or a long-term relationship, I want to make a positive influence. And I just, if anything, help inspire people to do the things that inspire them, because we only get one shot at this. So like, I get so much joy from helping my friends launch their businesses or just kind of advise them. That means more to me than any amount of money, to say that I played a key role in that. That motivates me so much. And obviously like my wife and my newborn daughter, I do it all for them.
I know that's definitely why you wake up, why you do things. It's just to look at the smile, which sometimes it's a fart or a burp. If she's that early, if she's that young, that smile is not really, they're not smiling at you. It's something funny in the stomach. But anyway, let me ask you another question, which is super important. And people usually are ashamed of talking about their failures, right? So what's your biggest failure, and what did you learn from it?
So this one's a tough one because I have a few, but the one that really comes to mind the most is, so when I graduated college, I had an internship with a privately owned auto group where I was going to college, and did an internship program with them. Long story short, I graduated, didn't know what I wanted to do, so I decided to join. I got an offer that was kind of irresistible at the time. Being a college graduate, making close to 6 figures was very appealing to me because that's what I was kind of motivated at that time for. And I actually went to work for them for about 5 years, helped them grow to the 4th largest e-commerce auto dealership in the nation.
Oh, wow.
I actually acquired a technology company, and we were patent pending for about 18 months. And what this technology did was essentially like, and a lot of companies are doing it today, but it's, and I think I froze. So I'm gonna.
I'm here.
This technology essentially, basically, we were revolutionizing like the way that you would shop. And you put a headset on, and you can literally buy a vehicle from the comfort of your couch or home. So we were really like disrupting the. This is right before like the Carvanas of the world and these other e-commerce based dealerships. So what happened then though is that we were I would say weeks away from getting our patent completed, and August 18th of 2018, I still remember this day, we get sat down by like the CEO because we usually do like manager meetings, and basically got all 900 employees on a call and pretty much fired all of us in a sense. He had to let us go because the CFO basically committed wire fraud and defaulted on like $140 million loan. It was like the largest financial fraud in the history of the U.S. The reason why that was my biggest failure is because I literally put all my energy, sweat, blood, and tears into this company. Like I was managing 22 dealerships for them, their inventory. I built 2 companies for them. I was patent pending, and that, like the fact that like that rug got pulled from underneath me, for the longest time, like I felt like something was missing. Like after that, like for about a year and a half, 18 to 24 months, like I just felt like part of me died because I put so much effort into all this, right? And it got taken away from me, and I couldn't do anything about it. It was outside of my control. I lost our patent. I lost, a really nice, comfortable job, and money that I was making. But ultimately, I think I realized then that like, you can work a lot, and you can, the whole Gary Vee, work. That's great and all, but like, I think you also need to realize that like, there's so much more. And that's kind of what inspired me to start thinking about life as like, I look at life from the perspective of like, there's no such thing as work-life balance, in my opinion. Like, you can't give your family 51% and your work 49%. I think it's about work-life integration and figuring out what works for you, and integrating everything into your personal life. So, I would say that's probably the biggest failure, is that like, I literally like lost everything I worked so hard for, and I couldn't literally do nothing about it. And that
doesn't that make you feel like that's why I want to, start my own company, so that I can help people through that journey? I think the way you felt is very entrepreneurial, right? It's like your baby, right? It was your baby.
100%.
So, and you had no power in making that final decision. But now, if you start your own, yes, you can define those decisions and still feel very attached to the mission.
100%. I think, I've always been very entrepreneurial. A little backstory. So I was raised in a different country. I came over to America when I was 11. My family's from Cuba, and, I lived in Mexico for a really long time before coming over to the States. But my dad was actually 63 when he had me, and he was born in 1929. And I lost him when I was 15. And like, that's definitely, till this day, probably the hardest thing that I've ever experienced in my life. Like, not growing up with like a father basically. And the way that I embrace it today is that I get to run his company, and I've been helping run his company since I was 15. My mom's, handle most of like the day-to-day operations. But now, like, as I'm older, as I know more, have more of a business mind, I'm, essentially running the company for him. So that's me kind of living through him, right? Is that I'm continuing his legacy. That's what put me through college, put my sister through college, gave my mom a full-time job, and both my parents are really entrepreneurial. My dad had a restaurant in Tampico, which is where we grew up in Mexico. My mom's had a daycare for about 15 years. So like, I would say entrepreneurship is in my blood. But at the same time, like, I've had this itch that I've always wanted to scratch. For me, the comfort of having a corporate job and the safety net was cool. But then when I realized, like, I don't have control over my situation. I've always have someone that's kind of, hanging a carrot over my head, in order.
Yeah, and it's from the simple decisions to the big ones. You just want to be part of it. And
I agree. And
it's not for everybody, by the way. It's not for everybody, right?
No, it's definitely not. No, I mean, I think I've sacrificed a lot, and I bet you have too, launching, Streann's media. I think the one thing that it took me the longest time to understand is, as an entrepreneur, as a business owner, as a founder, everything is your fault. Like, no matter what, good or bad, right? So I think when you kind of, and there's some things that are out of your control, right? Like, if someone steals from you or just does bad things, right? You don't have control over that. But at the end of the day, like, you hired them, or, whoever works under you hired them, and ultimately, it leads back to you. So when I started understanding that, like, my whole perspective on business just changed, right? And instead of trying to play defense, I just started playing offense. And I think that's definitely what's helped me, but it took me so long to understand that, because I wanted to do everything. I wanted everything to be perfect, and it's just like, it doesn't work that way.
Awesome.